All good.
Yeah. All right. We're here.
Hello, everybody. This is very odd, but welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians podcast, episode 356, I think. I'm not sure. I'm Otto, and tonight we're joined with Nick Picone.
What's up?
Extremist Bab.
Hello.
And very special guest and saver of the stream, Jack Lloyd.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for bringing me back into the fold, because I was about to rage quit the podcast and you'll never see me ever again. Just because I knew tonight would be filled with technical difficulties. My first night trying to record myself, because Jared is clearly absent tonight. He was busy with other stuff. We even went over.
Are we worried that the deep state is taking him out? I mean,
no. He's alive and well. But yeah.
Wait, is that Jared's name for his wife's vagina? The deep state.
Oh
wow.
Does this have anything to do? I think there was an EMP strike in Jared's neighborhood. Okay, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt and say he would be here with us if it wasn't for that EMP strike that's temporarily taking him out.
Northwest Baltimore. Yeah, just his neighborhood. But yeah, so I knew this was my first night recording, so I knew something was bound to happen. And I even tried to do it early. I was like, I'm going to do this about an hour early, make sure everything's smart or everything running smooth. And yeah, well, it is what it is. But I'm glad we all decided to record tonight.
Right.
Oh boy, that was funny. Boy. I would not be able to do funny things like that. So for people listening, Jack, he's messing with the picture.
I get to mess with the stream now. I'm in control.
Dude, this is so cool. Not only do we have Jack on the show, but we have him able to do fun shit like that. So yeah. Dude, welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians, Jack. This is freaking great. You've just been killing it lately. The stuff with Tom Woods and oh my god, I'm just dying over the shorts and Hawaiian shirts. Can you what's going on there? Has he surrendered yet?
Nah, he's pretty stubborn when it comes to those things. I like ribbing him a bit when it comes to his fashion, not because he's got his style of clothes that he does and he rocks it well, but sometimes he thinks he's going to say something that's a little more popular, and then when he says it, he's like, oh, okay, whoops. He doesn't realize the monster he has just awakened when he criticizes shorts.
Well, at the end of the day, he's still a conservative PhD, and he's not the people that follow him.
Yeah.
First he came out against Hawaiian shirts. Okay. Now this basically goes against, I would say, the punk rock libertarian fan base, core wardrobe, at this point, right? Coming out as a libertarian, coming out anti, boog attire, that's bold. So, that's also come against shorts. I'm like, wow, this guy's he's really taking some chances.
Look, the only way he could have made me more upset is if he tried to come out against Janko jeans. And I would have really had problems.
Right. Oh my god.
You take my cargos, but you don't get my Jankos.
With fiery dice in the back.
Exactly.
He played it safe.
Great. You can only talk about COVID and for so long you can only talk about those award-winning Nobel Prize winning economists or Contra Krugman, it's he's got the same topics have to get boring eventually, right? So now it's fashion. Now Tom Woods is going to be the guy that we're all looking to for our fashion advice. He's going to help us, right? He's going to.
I hate to throw it
be
at
successful like him.
Jack Lloyd's biggest hit to date was absolutely Tom Woods' house. That's the one that I'm bumping when I'm driving down the street.
I'm glad.
Can we play that on the show? That is.
You can do whatever you want. This is
Jack's.
This is Jack's stream, and we're just living in it right now.
Any way to cue that up?
Let me see. I can play the audio from it. I didn't preload the video kind of thing because I'd have to upload that. But yeah, I can definitely play. You want me to play it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, why not?
I haven't heard it in a couple hours.
Why not? Yes.
Okay, here we go. Let me grab it.
It's a
It's
hook.
not as funny without Jack's face actually doing the Tom Woods house.
He can do the face live.
I could do a little bit of that. Yeah, that was a fun music video. We were short on time trying to do it. It was tough, no lie. It was very hard. Oh, here we go. I gotta find it because I just realized.
No, it's good.
Category. Here we go. Okay.
Getting down, 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 getting down at Tom Woods house, getting down at Tom Woods house, getting down at Tom Woods house, getting down, getting down, getting down at Tom Woods house, getting down, getting down at Tom Woods house, getting down, lay up in the party, ooh, Tom Woods house. Everybody chilling, ooh, Tom Woods house. Bob Murphy grilling too, Tom Woods house. Michael Malus killing booze, Tom Woods house. Gold level friggin'.
What part of the song confuses Tom more? The lyrics or just the song itself?
That means to say in privatization, Tom Woods house. Big celebration, Tom Woods house. Pouring libations, Tom Woods house. Drink a bottle of the goose, Tom Woods house. Light a little of the loose, Tom Woods house. Pass a cup, oh you, Tom Woods house. Serving me, serving you, Tom Woods house. Podcast on cue, Tom Woods house. One syndicated fool, Tom Woods. Getting down at Tom Woods house. Getting down at Tom Woods house. Getting down at Tom Woods house. Getting down. Getting down at Tom Woods house. Getting down at Tom Woods house. Getting down at Tom Woods house. Getting down. Looking over real cool. Ron Paul at the pool. And the Fed floaties on 40 gold chains. And the friends in the crew. Backyard country cruise.
Notice how sexy he says Tom Woods.
Scott Horton bringing news of Saki Bomb Bruce. Can't cancel these dudes. Michael Heiss already knew what a conference got to do. The party started. Gotta call up the Jews. Hello. Ring, ring, holla, holla. Got Mises, got Rafa, got Rand, got Freeman, got Gene, got Block, got love for the others, all the sisters and the brothers. Jack Lloyd and the ladies, Liberty Doll and McKin, Tuttle twins, Free Knox, Berwick, Chris Koff, being Libertarian, and Larry Reed Pop. Autonomous zone at the Wildwoods home. Status haters big mad at the free market zone. Get down at Tom Woods house. Get down at Tom Woods house. Get down at Tom Woods house.
Nick is way too into this song.
Dude.
I love kitsch, man, and there's like nothing in the world kitschier than this.
So, Overtime Woods,
Insane.
Yeah, that was a wild ride.
So, will this be performed live at the 2000th special episode?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, okay.
Wait. The only thing, can we get Hoppa to do a verse on it? Any chance that can happen?
That'd be very
Just on Covenant communities, so to speak. You know, just something like.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. Actually, yeah, I don't know. I don't think we mentioned him in the song. It doesn't seem like it would be his jam, if you know what I mean.
I think it's hard to get him to show up for stuff, but like if you can, maybe take him like auto tune him like some of his speeches. Right. You know, like.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious! Please, dude, Jack, you have to do that for the next hit.
Have you ever heard of the band Futuristic Sex Robots?
No.
Oh,
they were okay. So they were a nerdcore band, a nerdcore rap group, like back circa 2007, and they released another album, Hotel Coral Essex, on Emporium.com. And they have a song on there called Positronic Pimp. And literally all they did is they went and cut data, like snippets of data from Star Trek, into an entire verse.
Wow.
And it's like just fucking unreal.
It sounds like it's the most up your alley type of music.
Oh no, it is absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so they like all of their songs are like "fuck the MPAA," shit like that.
There we go. That's awesome, man. That's just insane.
You remember the internet in 2008 and how awesome it was?
Yeah, I missed that. I missed some of that. Yeah. No, I mean, I was using Facebook back, about when it first came out, and I actually remember engaging with one of the first viral memes, which was a guy who posted, a picture, and his words said, if this gets 1 million likes, my girlfriend will have a threesome with me. And of course, it got 1 million likes.
The first viral thing I remember was actually the OK Go video on the treadmills.
On was that on YouTube?
Well, it blew up on Facebook too. Like
Okay.
it was like real early Facebook stuff. Like,
I'm talking like early 2006 was the
yeah.
Facebook.
And I think I was like one of the first schools that was on Facebook. I don't think I had like maybe 50 people that I knew that were on Facebook at one point. I was so disappointed when they went wider than schools.
I have on there. I don't think I have any recollection of any of that. I don't remember hardly anything early. I mean, I was into the MySpace. Like, it's funny. I was actually just showing my kids the video of me on MySpace. There's a band called Good Clean Fun. They did this video called the MySpace song. Yeah, and I was in it. And so I was like showing my kids pictures of it, like me, like 100 pounds lighter. Last night, and they were just like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're on TV." I'm like,
"Have you visited your MySpace page?"
I have.
Still there.
It took like everything down. Really, everything's kind of off of it.
So mine was a music page, and like it shows all of the tracks, but like you can't listen to any of the tracks. It bums me out because some of the stuff that I left up there, like I would actually love to have copies of because I don't know where it got lost in the years.
Bummer.
It's a bummer.
Would everybody here be on your top 8?
Probably.
Probably. Wow.
Probably.
Well, at this point, I avoid social media in general. So
I know.
I think I'd probably pick the normiest people I could for my top 8.
Yeah.
Like I've already deleted everything off my Facebook page. So
wow. Yeah. Well, understandable.
Well, Jack, when did you start becoming kind of like an online personality type? Getting into how with the Anarchy Ball and all the other stuff.
Hey, I'm trying to log into MySpace, and it's saying, "Do you want to log in with Facebook?" And I'm like, "Do you want to sign in with Facebook or Twitter to use MySpace?" Like, what? How does that?
You derailed my question.
That's exactly how far it's come. Yeah.
I know, right?
I've always been, I guess you could say, into internet culture since I was very young. When I was, my early teens, I would be on like tripod.com building websites and stuff. And, I was on MySpace and things like that, and even had pages back. And then again, this is from the past, of course, not now. When I was a neoconservative, and in that path, I was doing stuff, memeing in the early days. We're talking like, early 2000s and stuff like that. But I started to get more into the liberty sphere in, I would say, post 2007. And then the most heavy would be in terms of like really pushing memes would be Anarchy Ball, early 2014. And Anarchy Ball started late 2013. And then I came on early 2014.
Yeah, I guess there's like another Anarchy Ball. Like there was like several Anarchy Balls, and you're the OG one. You claim OG.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a long story, but the short of it is that the guy who originally created it, we started off kind of with a smaller group. Then we had a lot more admins and mods over time and built things up. And then we had some downsizing ideologically eventually, as I would say things got interesting in the 2015, 2016 arena. And then there was some conflict between me and the original guy. And then he booted me about, what was it, like late 2019. And then they lost their page because the guy who created it got basically taken over by, Russian spam bot hackers. He fell for one of those scams.
I thought it was communists.
No, it was just definitely, we tried to like stop it, but it seemed like they were coming from Russia in this case. Not like, like the government or something like that. Just your typical, people online that try to scam people out of pages kind of thing. And then they lost that too. Hackers. Yeah,
wow.
like we'll give you $2,000 a month to post this, and yeah. And then they clicked the link and then they became the business manager, and then they removed everybody kind of thing. So a lot of people got scammed that way, which is, I mean, to me it was obvious, but some people not so obvious.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life.
There's some strange stories I could tell. And
some
then
rumors out there, bro.
Yeah. They recreated the page, and then that one went down. He kind of like lost all steam because he alienated everybody from the page after that. And then I kept the legend going through Anarchy Ball OG just because I was like, okay, well, I'll keep some memes up and still create content. So that, since I'm one of the original admins.
No, I'm not confused that James has that shirt. I'm a little alarmed that it was within reach. Like he didn't actually even have to get out of frame to get
it.
So, for the listeners right now, James just decided to throw on his Anarchy Ball shirt, which is awesome.
Yes.
It's just funny because I'm pretty sure my first interaction with you online, you said I was a rape apologist, I think. I'm pretty sure it was you. It was like around 2016. Jack, that would be you.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Because yeah. Well, no, it was from the Anarchy Ball page. So I don't know if it was you in particular.
Exactly, yeah.
It could have been someone.
Me. Yeah, because there was several admins, and I don't know. I'd have to see the context, but it probably wasn't me.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I knew what I was doing. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I didn't really think much of it, but we were discussing. We were discussing the fact, like it was. Of course, it was a Kyle Wagner thread, and Kyle said something about typical minarchist. And I was just like, I kind of just threw up my hands. Kind of, I was like, what? It's just as unrealistic as anarchy at this point. So like maybe if we got to minarchy, maybe who knows? I might be happy with it. Who knows? Like we'll never find out. And someone from the page was like, "That's a cool rape defense," or I don't know, something like that. And I was like, "Oh, all right, awesome. Cool."
That's something like Ben would say. Ben was one of the original admins as well, Schneider. So he.
I know one of them was from Maryland, I think. One of the guys was from Maryland. I don't remember which one. It's been so long. Like, that's why, like, I was just sitting here thinking, I'm like, when I asked you the question, like, how long are you doing this? And you said, like, 2014. And they're like, I'm just thinking, like, damn, that was actually a really long time ago in internet years. Like, that's a long, long time.
Oh, yeah. Very long.
So good. So good. Like, really, it's one of those things that, like, made me look forward to having, like, the internet at all, with some Anarchy Ball.
Hell yeah. I mean, it was fun. I made a bunch of, content, stuff like that. Some of the main posters were Dimitri, and Ben, and then later on, this one guy who I really didn't like, he posted the most low quality memes. That was Rasta Monkey toward the end. Yeah, he was just terrible. I'm sorry. I just did not like him one bit. He's part of the reason the page, went. But yeah, I mean, there was a number of people who came through, and even like we're just like kind of I guess you could say mods in name only. They never really did much. Like Larkin Rose was technically a mod in name only. He never did anything. But we had a couple of those kinds of things through the days.
So I mean, this is all before Harambe died. This is what that just seems like so long ago. But in the grand scheme of things,
I would call it the dawn of the meme age. I mean, it was like it was a turning point in history, right? From there was the printing press was a big deal, then there was the radio was a big deal, and then television was a big deal. And then cable TV was a big deal. Then the internet was a big, it's like, and then boom,
memes.
Yeah.
The original square memes with like a certain type of like face cut out with like just words on it. Remember the original like overly what do you call it? Girlfriend, the overly attached girlfriend. You had like the based wolf and things like that, and you had the rage faces.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The original memes.
The most of the time I think back to it is like it's like those inspirational posters that people just like turned into like beer pong things, and then that created into a whole assortment of other types of topics. And I feel like that's where and then of course the really tired what's his name? Chuck Norris stuff. Like a lot of the Chuck Norris stuff.
Right.
Oh yeah, like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I remember it.
Videos with him, like, basically showing him like fighting a bunch of people in like this big anime cartoon. I mean, those are some of the old, original meme content fodder. So
is it like back when Lemon Demon did that song Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny?
Yeah, Ultimate Showdown, exactly. That's the name. Right. Mm-hmm.
I miss him.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that just you can't do anymore. You know what I mean? You will get just immediately shut down. It's very not cool.
Think about in this age of memes, though, like how much like teraflops of processing power is required by the deep state just to analyze our memes. Okay, like the photo recognition, the geotagging, the trying to analyze the text, and now they're trying to analyze like, is this humor? Is this serious? Like, what kind of extremist are we talking about here? Catalog, like map out networks. Like, I'm feeling like huge. It must be huge arrays of computers that are just trying to look at memes and figure out like who the enemies are.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I spend a bit of time like back solving their algorithms in terms of figuring out how they're trying to target different people or content, and I've been doing that for a long time, just figuring out what you can say, what you can't say, what they're looking for, because it's like it's a crazy landmine. It's like anything you could say potentially now can even stuff years back they're going after, right, for things your sins of the past. Before we even had these updated standards. Oh, you did something bad 6 years ago? Goodbye to your account.
I know. Extremist is extremist. You're an extremist. All right. Sorry. You gotta check extreme, too extreme, like, are you, triple X extreme,
Well, and that's the thing. We get into these conversations. I remember like back in the day on Punk Rock Libertarians podcast, like we would just sit there and discuss like, is libertarian, like that's stereotypical questions you'd bring up. Like, are you right wing or left wing? And like, oh, I'm neither. I'm not. And I said, it doesn't really matter what you think. It's all that matters what you're going to get pinned as. And right now, like anything to the right of Bernie Sanders is, you're a right wing.
You do not get to take my leftist cred. Mine.
Yeah, man. It's just it's like it doesn't matter what you're called. So the extremists, like it doesn't matter what you're like. I'm not extremist. To the government, you are, man. You're a right wing extremist. If you're not Antifa, and see, but that's what you get pegged at.
Just leave it at extremist. That just leaves it wide open. Okay, right? Like
I think you're really enjoying this title,
like because that is the purpose of Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It's like whatever extreme view is out there, we want to just bring back to the center and maintain the status quo. And just reinforce whatever the narrative is. It's voting. It's believing the election results. It's staying home. It's masks. It's vaccines. It's climate change. Like they're just relentless. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, what if they started calling us moderates? They're like, yeah, we're labeling all these libertarians moderates.
Well, Dave Smith has actually laid out the case that we are the moderates. I mean, we're the only ones not talking about blowing people up.
Right? What if you're an extremist moderate? Or you're a moderate extremist?
Yeah, we're moderately extreme.
I mean, yeah, just take their words from them. That's what I always think when it comes to these things is the best thing you can do is to take whatever label it is that they want to throw at you and just to totally like steal it from them, take their gusto, because they hope that you react to it. In other words, the people who are trying to come up with these labelings and dismissive tactics, they are trying to get a reaction of people be like, oh no, I don't want to be that, but you just got to say, screw you. Okay, you want to call this whatever, I don't care.
I had my Facebook religion listed as Nazi cuck for a while. I was pretty happy with that one.
Well, it's true. I mean, they do fit.
Yeah, it's insane.
I was in the Mises caucus. So, I mean, all of it checks out.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man.
That's just it. Is that at the end of the day, people can call you whatever they want. They have the ability to do that. You're not going to be able to physically stop them. So the best thing to do is just to make them look stupid, right? because they're not going to be funny. Like the people who are always triggered about these things and are trying to label and shame people are themselves humorless. I mean, they're so stupid and humorless that it's actually just a reminder that, oh, okay, if they're doing this, just shove it right back in their face and make fun of them. Just like people did with like all the banners, right? Oh, you know, here with the extremist content or exposing friends to extremist, you know, ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just throw
You know, you know, that's all fun and all, but I also feel like they're going to show this to the jury, or this is going to be used to deny me bail at some point. Okay, and legit. Okay, this is the kind of shit they pull out. Like, yep. I guarantee, if I was, you're going to, when they get me, I will not get bail. Okay, like just forget about it. They're going to be like. I
hate to break it to you, deep fakes are really cheap now. They can have you saying anything they ever want you to say. Ever again.
All they have to do is go through. They could probably just go through 1 or 2 episodes of Punk Rock Libertarian podcast. Okay, and like, see, extremist content. Like you heard him say right there, he's an extremist. Do we have to say we rest our case, Your Honor? You know,
we have to have a good lawyer to object to that and be like relevant. You know.
He said blue lives splatter, you know, like isn't that enough? Like we're gonna have to deny bail for officer protection.
You're good.
I remember during Larkin Rose's trial, they showed on the screen that he was there for his tax disagreements,
right?
And when he sent in his tax check, he wrote on there something like, I don't know, it's something like, you know, like extortion payment or like, you know, like mafia payment, like anyway, some kind of like little barb on the comment on the memo.
Yeah,
it's up there on the screen for the jury, and the jury's being shown these like snarky comments like on the check.
Yeah,
like they will get anything they can to paint you as some kind of like, you know, and in Larkin's case, they're like, he's an anarchist.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look what they're doing to the people, you know, the January 6th, you know, stupid thing, you know, like at the Capitol building. You know, there was an insurrection of old women having the door held open from them as they walked in between the velvet ropes and took a selfie and walked out of the building.
Right.
Like,
oh yeah,
they're right-wing extremists. You know,
the
like
unruly tour group.
Oh my God! Just the amount of
been
fighting I
denied
get.
bail, didn't he? I think that dude with the horns and whatnot has been denied bail multiple times.
They're in like solitary confinement
for obvious political reasons. I mean, what did the guy really do?
I didn't even see a thing this week. He's being forced to undergo like therapy.
I don't know. I haven't seen.
I think he only, what is it? Like he ate like only organic food or something like that.
Too much wrong thing coming out of him. He's going to have a therapeutic correctional session. I mean, what are we talking about?
Speaking of judges, I saw another crazy thing today. Apparently, like there's a judge that's demanding as part of your sentencing that you have to get vaccinated now.
Whoa. Oh yeah, that motherfucker. Yeah. And like this one guy, like he signed on for it and then he was just like, but I don't like it. I think it was like a gun charge and like drug possession. And he was like in the courtroom, they asked him if he was vaccinated. He's like, no, I'm not. And he was like, well, you need to get vaccinated. Like he said, it's his part to I wish I had the story up. I saw that like last week and I was blown away. I'm like, really? Like, this is what we're coming to? They got to get them vaccines out, man. They're making it mandatory. It's just so funny how they're like, it's not mandatory, but if you don't do it, then you're going to lose your job and lose your house. It's completely voluntary. It's completely voluntary.
Yeah.
You know,
that pisses me off a lot, but many people who have downplayed the fact that everything by and large that the businesses are doing in terms of their signage, in terms of their rules, has nothing to do with like the private market, you know, and people choosing. And I mean, and you see this consistently across every business that has pretty much put up a sign. And me, I'm out a lot. Like there's people who literally are just homebodies and they don't go out. I'm going out all the time to different types.
We see the pictures. Okay.
Yeah, you know, I mean, all right. So you know,
good.
Right. I'm out.
My life hasn't changed this year. I'm just saying.
I like a good steak. So I'm out there and I'm seeing all the different signs from major corporate chains, you know, across the board, whether it's places like Walmart or Lowe's or, you know, Outback Steakhouse, whatever. And I always read them or take pictures and just to track what it is that they're doing in the language. And at every point, you can almost always see it tied to state action, right? They're saying according to or by local mandate or state mandate or executive order, and even
CDC
now,
guidelines.
right? Even now, the update is in accordance with CDC guidelines. Those who have been vaccinated, don't have to wear a mask, right? And if you have, please wear a mask. But it shows you it has nothing to do with some independent thought process in this. Their attorney in HR just sitting there and saying, "Oh, here's what the government says. We don't want to be sued, so we're just going to do whatever they say." And that's, Of course.
Was there an assumption that people were thinking before?
Assumption about?
No, people were thinking. I didn't ever believe that was the case. No independent thought for sure.
Right. Well, some places do, like small businesses, because we also go to a lot of mom and pop restaurants and things like that where they don't care. Like we've been going to places where, you can actually just talk to the manager. And we've had several managers at different restaurants say, this is all garbage. It's a lie. We've seen it ourselves. Like it's just basically, essentially a bad cold in terms of the effects by and large. And they're like, and we're going to be open no matter what. Like I've actively watched different small business owners say, yeah, screw this. We're defying it. So you can just see the clear pattern that all of this is an orchestration of the government and of course the corporate government partnerships in following those orders for, depending on which actors, for the sake of avoiding liability, or in some cases because they're a part of what the outcome is. They want people to be forced to take this so that they can control and capture the market more, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, it's just government outsourcing its tyranny. Like that's the best phrase in every single time. Like, well, a private business. It's not private business because it's based all off of government mandates, like exactly what you were just saying. Like based off
what's the point of having a government if corporations can't use it to do all the nasty work?
Right.
You don't even need it. You won't even need a government. Like why bother?
It's really weird. It's getting to that point. I mean, you look at Donald Trump's now suing, these companies for violating his free speech, and I'm just like, like I'm at the point right now where I'm so sick.
That
of
horse left the barn,
attitudes.
dude. Like, sorry, it's gone.
Yeah.
Well, what's scary is I'm seeing so I'm starting to hear a lot about the court cases for Trump, and a lot of like people with PhDs now signing on to the shenanigans of the past election. And the bottom line is they can't make elections completely meaningless into perpetuity. At some point, they have to slap back and make them trusted again.
Mm-hmm.
And the right-wing reversal that I'm seeing happen in the next 10 years really terrifies me.
What do you mean right-wing reversal?
Because the manner in which they overplayed their hand, this shit's coming back to the right in a very dangerous way.
When the pendulum swings?
Yeah.
Right. We've got this like super pro-police president, super pro-police vice president in place, right? Didn't he just like double federal money for police, like doubled Trump, like like they're really gearing up. They've clearly put cryptocurrency in the crosshairs. They've put libertarians in the crosshairs. They've put extremists in the crosshairs. They're being very clear about who the enemy is, and they are gearing up. And they've done all the psyops. They've laid the groundwork. They got everybody compliant. I just think people might want to be prepared because it's
be prepared.
Doesn't look good.
Be prepared.
But luckily, we also have things like cryptocurrency, and there's a reason that they have to attack it. So, stack some cryptocurrency, use some encryption, do some 3D printing.
Stack some meat too, everybody.
You got
That's
that.
all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Your personal habits are your own, Nick.
Freezers full of meat.
Oh, okay.
I thought this was some kind of weird, like, super gay position where, like, never mind.
No, it wouldn't be super gay. It'd be super bi. There'd be titties in there too.
Oh gosh.
All right.
Like I only like my Lennon sticks if there's like D cups attached to them.
Wow, it's quite the combo. Only in a free market can you fully enjoy those things. So
That's why it was so fucking hilarious that like I stumbled across Tom Woods, and that was like my introduction to libertarianism, because like as far as like culture goes, like I'm one of the most libertine people you've ever come across. But it was like the fact that Tom Woods and I could have our own little Hoppian communes and just kind of like, hey, weird guy across the fence, let's trade.
It's like
that was literally why I love libertarianism.
It's like the Kinky Wilson from Tool Time.
Those Hoppians might try to physically remove you, Nick. I'm sorry.
We're over the fence. We just trade. Yeah. We don't need to actually hang out with each other.
All right, because like, aren't they even against like jazz musicians? Like, isn't it one of those things? They're like drug addicts, jazz musicians, homosexuals. These need to be physically removed.
This is the funny thing about this. So, like, who is like one of the biggest hop promoters here in the States? It's got to be Michael Malus. Well, I don't know if you know about Michael Malus. He's not exactly the conservative one out of our crew. Like Mr. Nothing in the World I Love More Than RuPaul's Drag Race. Like,
yeah.
and he's got pictures with Hoppa, so.
Yeah. Well, it's because he can have a good time and like relate and kind of move the Overton window with time. I think that's definitely happened within liberty movement at large. I think the more that people get to know each other and meet up in person and have good conversations and interesting experiences, it does broaden your mind. You know what I mean? Like, I think things like Pork Fest do broaden people's minds and think.
And where were you, Jack? I'm sorry, I know it's a long way from Florida, but dude, I know you're busy, but dude.
Yeah, we couldn't.
Yeah, but you missed Childerberg too, and that was way closer, bro.
Oh wow!
Wow, you missed both, Jack.
Let's just talk about next year for Pork Fest.
Yeah.
Getting Jack.
Who's coming to Midwest Peace and Liberty
we
Fest?
Want you guys up there. What do we need? What do we got to do to make it happen? Let's just make it happen.
It's very tough. The block of time makes it tough with everything. We had a lot of events and other things we were doing this year, so it was hard to take up time for it. But it is something that would be nice to do, but would have.
Have you been?
No, I've never been.
Oh yeah, this is my first time.
What's your most northernest latitude
that I've ever been?
Or
upstate New York, I guess, because I'm originally from New York, so you grew up in Long Island.
Oh really? Okay.
Upstate New York is a very wide label.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, oh wait, everything that's not that one island.
Yeah, I mean, not nothing crazy. I'm from
upstate New York, and I guarantee I've never seen where you're from.
I know, yeah, that's true. You're right. I never been to Snow, Mexico, so there's that. But not it.
I take that's a euphemism for Canada.
Yeah,
that's funny. I've never heard that.
No,
I mean, has anybody seen them in a year?
Are they allowed to even see themselves? I don't know.
No, not really. Actually, so I do like the School Sucks podcast calls once a week, or like we all kind of hang out and talk and stuff. And one of our guys in the group is from Canada, and I guess Quebec is officially doing vaccine passports. And he's like, "Well, I'm not sure what I'm doing about this." And I'm like, "Well, you should come visit me and then never go back."
Yeah.
I'll make room in the house for you, buddy.
Dude, we could do the Underground Railroad, for people out of Canada if need be. I thought we'd be escaping to Canada, but whatever. Let's, I think there's a lot of I think the Canadian border is pretty porous. You can canoe across in a lot of places, or
definitely
some wilderness areas, or I don't know. And I think the cops wear these bright red jackets so you can see them coming.
There's sometimes a moose and a squirrel too that might stop you on the border. But,
I'd be way more afraid of a moose than a mountie, I'll be completely honest.
Especially a talking one.
Yeah.
Well, here's the danger that I've heard about going to Canada. It's like they have the power to turn you around and be like, no, because the blank, right? They turn you around, then they send you back. Technically, now you've been deported, and now they dump you on U.S. immigration, bring you back in. And I think they're like, oh, we got some kind of, we're going to like, but then they're going to search you, and, it's going to be a thing, and they're going to show you who's boss kind of thing. So even if I always thought, well, if the Canadians turn me around, so be it.
Boys.
So yeah, I don't. I think I'd like to avoid those border crossings in general. But what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
seaplanes.
We'll have lowered standard for searching your digital devices across most jurisdictions. It's only a reasonable suspicion to search laptops and cell phones. And actually, an 11th Circuit case, which is down the south, area, it needs to be challenged. But they had a ruling that allowed them to even, not without even like having any type of reasonable suspicion to search electronic devices. So
yeah, it's ridiculous. One tip I do know is that you power down your electronics because there's different levels of security. Like if it's off, that's the highest level of security. If you've powered it up, but then you've gone into screen lock, it's going to be easier to compromise it. So to make it harder for them to compromise, being in an off state for your phones, laptops, completely shut down is the way to go.
Yeah, pull out the battery.
But yeah,
most
probably
phones,
you should just
can't do that.
You should probably just go with some kind of minimal device that doesn't actually have any documents or data, and just access your stuff from the cloud or remote server.
Right. Yeah. Get a burner phone for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't cross borders.
But who has time to do that, right? Like I'd like to go back and forth between Canada and Mexico as a matter of convenience, like having to like dump you're traveling around North America where you're supposed to like put your electronics in a locker in Montana before you cross into, like, no, it's not going to work.
It's these goddamn government borders, man.
Yeah. I say you just stop in Montana and never go anywhere else.
That's good.
What I want is to have some kind of like, say they try to copy your phone, it actually installs some kind of malware on their device, and they have to give me Bitcoin to unlock their stupid thing. Right?
Why don't you pitch that to one of these companies?
Like, oh really? Like, oh, you're gonna just walk up to my device and plug into this port? How bold of you? Like.
Well,
you don't know what's in here, I could have a special device that's just like, do not copy this, top secret, extremist content, do not look at this, like as a thumb drive or something, and they just plug it in and they're like, do not run this .exe.
You have all these companies like selling de-Googled phones now. You feel like that would be just another script to add on to the damn thing, like.
Yeah,
some kind of self-destruct.
Just start installing self-replicating Trojans and shit.
Yeah,
well, we have James on here, and all we're doing is just plotting crimes and extortion, and
this is definitely going to be used in your trial.
I mean, these phones have a lithium battery in there that's got a lot of energy. Could you trigger like a thermal overload of some kind?
Yeah,
just hypothetically.
in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is why I love having you on, James. Oh my god. You live up to your extremist moniker.
Yeah.
Extremist content.
I'm loving the hair today, by the way.
Oh, thank you. You like that? I got a little gel in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I shave most of my beard off today, so
it's got like an aging Jerry Lee Lewis kind of thing going on there.
He does.
Definitely an aging something. Yeah.
Minus the sex with cousins thing, I hope.
Wait, don't knock it till you try it. All right, don't kink shame on my podcast.
Hey, I want Jack to tell us about the comic book.
Sure. Which one?
Well, we just did that. You just did a new campaign, so why don't you give it? You want to give us a briefing on the?
Yeah, I'll brief you or debrief you, whatever you prefer. So basically, the latest comic that I was just running a campaign for was Voluntarist Origins 5. And just for those who don't know, I run a comic book series called Voluntarist. It's a liberty-themed comic book series where it's got a kind of mainstream narrative story built into it, but the fundamentals, the ideals, the backdrop is obviously not supporting the state. The state is seen as an evil, and it's not preachy. It's not like meant to be like, oh, you need to like believe in liberty or something. It's just actually meant to be a story where the backdrop, ideals and principles are anti-state. So I've been doing the project for about 10 years now, and this current campaign is the 5th issue that is in the series. It's a chronology of the origin story, and we finished the campaign hitting our second, actually, a stretch goal. So we funded over 100%, hit one stretch goal completed, then also hit a second one. So it was very successful. Damn. And yeah, it's just awesome. It's a fun
kick ass.
Thank you. Yeah, I really enjoy it. So
now, do you believe that the success of the comic is entirely due to the Libertarians with Hot Asian Wives campaign?
I would hope so. No, because I've been doing this for way longer than I've done that. So I would say the success probably is tied a bit to longevity, just having been doing this for a long time and having work product and getting people bought in and enjoying it. So I have, kind of an actual mini fan base in a niche of a niche kind of way. And just continuing to have a lot of cool perks and different incentives for people to join on in. So, definitely helps there. The
costumes are fun. You got to admit, like doing the costumes, the live costumes are cool. So
thank you. Yeah. I've done the super suit. We've had some t-shirts in the past and things like that. So over the years, I've done
only you two could really pull that off. That I think there's no one else in the entire libertarian sphere of existence, past, present, or near future that I can.
Allow me to cut to the bullshit. That's James coming on to you.
Oh, yeah. We've had drinks.
That was his sideways way of saying you guys pull off the outfits. Pretty good looking.
Yeah.
Well, you got to admit are they not possibly the cutest libertarian couple out there? I mean, they're pretty cute.
They look like Florida to me, but
I don't know. Me and Nick are hanging out together. We're pretty.
Alex and his lady are pretty cute too. I mean, so
Nick's got some cake. That's all. He's got some cake. But I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just fun to do unusual things in the culture. I think I've been saying this for years, just that it's really important for people who are doing things in Liberty to think about ways they can engage in culture with music and movies and shorts and skits, and comics and the like. It's something that exactly. It just makes it so that people are really enjoying it. It's not just purely academic or like some kind of like idea cloud in the sky kind of thing. It's like it's a fun way to get engaged with it and to help people see that it's something that stretches beyond just being some dry thing about economics, right? There, you can have fun with it, you can enjoy it, and create a true culture for it.
Yeah, so many times if you were not doing a libertarian comic book series, that's just ground that's just not, it's completely taken over by leftist culture, and it's we need to start focusing, like you said, on cultural things, and I completely agree. If you guys, if you're a design company, even we need more libertarian teachers. I'm sorry, at this point where it's just I don't care.
I think it's the artists
everywhere. We need to stop being so in our little niche, and we get in our little pockets and we just stay there. And I like it when you expand and we do stuff different. And I don't even care if get a job at the state. I don't care.
Well, the problem with artists, James, is that it's the left brain, right brain thing. And
we have plenty of artists, and I treasure our artists. Jack's a good example of our creative assets. Jordan Page. It's Tatiana. We have some great artists and creative people in our movement. We've got script writers, filmmakers.
But you missed the key. The key was they have to be good.
Well, to each their own.
Jack everybody is the only one of those style. That makes anything that sounds contemporary.
Tatiana has excellent intonation. Okay, and I challenge you to find Tatiana singing out of key. Okay,
she's good. Challenge you to find her having a song worth listening to.
Damn,
well, she did graduate from Berkeley.
She's a very, very good person, I guess.
The thing is, and just as someone who produces in the content in a lot of these zones where it's very difficult, right? Like music is tough. Doing artwork is hard. Doing short videos and stuff like that or skits, it's not easy, right? Like the equipment's easy,
tough.
Right? You can buy a camera, you can buy a sound rack, you can buy a mic, right? But there's a big difference between just buying equipment and knowing how to use that and orchestrate and produce something where you're having all the right elements come together. And
I've produced music for 20 years and I still suck at it.
Well, maybe need a good Jewish producer. But
there you go.
But yeah, not a rapey kind though. Just
Wait, there's a non-rapey kind.
I was gonna say it.
We're banned. We're banned.
Yeah.
That was a
God
great show,
it.
guys. We're now.
Funny, my uncle-in-law, he was one of the people that Weinstein first called when he got arrested. Because that's the
serious.
Yeah. That so like in my family, like we're in that genre of things of like producing and in TV and entertainment, other stuff like that. So you know what I mean? It's something that is its own specialized skill, and I think there's a lot of people who disconnect that from the art world. Is that when you see talent is in and of itself worthless, right? Like you can't just say, oh, talent, oh, therefore you deserve fame and stuff like that. Like it actually takes a lot of different types of crafting and messaging and framing in order to take raw talent and turn that into something that
I would actually argue that talent is probably a bigger detriment than it is a useful thing. And I'll say this.
That's why I've been so successful.
So within my music career that I've done for 20 years, there's one category of people that always loves me, and that's musicians. Like, no matter where I go, I will get musicians just tell me how fucking awesome I am. Now, meanwhile, I couldn't get 15 people into a room to watch me because they're all musicians out playing shows. So what the hell is that? What good is it? I always try to keep at least one guy in a band that I'd consider like a Joe everyman that's able to like say, yeah, I mean, that's a cool idea, bro, but like no one's going to get it. So how about we just play it like this instead? I feel like you need to have those people to kind of dumb it down to the masses.
It depends because you have some unique, I've heard some of your songs and you have like a unique style for sure. It's definitely not like your typical song that's getting radio play when it comes to trap music, you know what I mean? Or pop music and things like that. There are certain types of genres of music that are just going to be inherently more socially popular, right? And that's a choice. You can make great music, but if your genre is not something that is currently hot or that has a huge demand, especially young people and disposable income, things like that, I mean, it just doesn't matter.
I can read between the lines. What Jack's saying is, Eric, stop wasting your time with new metal. That genre's dead. Release more of those fucking dope beats, bro.
Them dope beats.
Right. Yeah. Well, so you're saying punk rock is not a good avenue to go down.
Well, unless you're leftist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
We're gonna do a punk rock song eventually and things like that. But it's something. Yeah. It's something that you have to do within, I guess you could say, a certain type of modern appeal and how it's mastered and how it's edited. And I'm very tuned into the liberty sphere in terms of artists, creatives, and other stuff like that. So I'm constantly surveying and looking to see who's doing what. And the most common thing I see among artists who are, they're like, oh, I'm in a band. Okay, let me take a look and see what you're doing. Is they have the fundamentals down for like their instruments, right? You're like, oh, okay, you can play guitar, you can shred a bit, your drummer's good, whatever. But they don't have the mastering that you need in terms of stylizing the sound and customizing the song and having double ups and having echoes and having effects that makes it modern. So it doesn't matter if you sound good in terms of, oh, okay, you have a competent band and they can jam out or whatever. If you don't have the modern mastering and the modern producing, it just sounds like it's dated. It sounds like, oh, sounds like someone who's jamming in 1999 to 2005 or something like that, like in their garage. It just doesn't matter. You need to have really quality mastering afterward and layering and things like that. So
I would have to agree with that. I really would, because
or be actually great.
Even if you're great, if you can't
like drop it in one take.
Well, not even dropping one take. It doesn't matter how good of a singer someone is. Good singers are dime a dozen. Good people can play guitar. I mean, you go on YouTube.
But how about this? Tom Petty's famous. Bob Dylan's famous. Neither one of those guys could sing. Okay, so singing is irrelevant. Well, Rebecca Black Friday was popular.
Well,
so
and not
a goddamn thing matters.
I love Nick who's hating on everything. I love it.
I like the way they recorded old jazz albums. It's pretty much like you drop everything and then you either keep it or do it again.
Well, and if you want to be good in that sphere, you know how you record exactly the same way they used to record them. You ever listen to Squirrel Nut Zippers back in the 90s?
Yes.
They recorded all their albums the exact same way, with the big old Raco microphone in the center of the room, and they'd position everybody so you'd play live in the room. And those albums sound exactly to period. Now, honestly, when they started recording with more modern techniques, their albums kind of started to suck, because what they did, like Jack said, works only in the context of what it was. And you try to like doll it up and gussy it up, and it turns into something that it's not.
Next thing you try to play with click tracks and, and like quantized and whatnot, like it takes it in a new place. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just say you have to know your genre. Like, that's the first step, right? What kind of genre are you playing for? And then after that, the question is to what extent is your, and if you're looking at, again, for virality, to what extent are you matching current trends of, creative output in terms of the sound and the mastering and things like that? But also, to what extent is what you're doing very interesting? Because there's lots of artists out there right now who, because of how they're putting out their music, in terms of the messaging and the visuals, go crazy viral. I think, for example, Tom McDonald. Have you ever heard of that rap artist, Tom McDonald, by any chance?
Everybody hates me.
Everybody hates you?
That's my favorite Tom McDonald song.
Just making sure I would say it. Okay. So he's a great example. Him and Nova Rockefeller, his girlfriend, right? She was in the music industry first. She left, learned some lessons, and eventually got together down the road. And she helped him out. She shot his videos, and she is setting up all these cool sets. But his voice is in and of itself not absolutely like amazing, right? You don't think Tom McDonald like, oh my gosh, he has so many octaves and he could really just melodic. Like, no, okay, he's just white guy rapping, and it's passable. The beats, again, not the most cutting edge beats.
They're pretty mediocre beats. I really dislike his beats. His hooks are terrible.
I'm not saying it's great, but it's modern, passable. And then what he does is the messaging with the visuals takes that next level, right? You have to pick how it is you're going to go viral. Are you going to do it through the words and the visualizations and make it go viral that way? Or are you going to try to be like, okay, I'm going to do a new kind of combination of music in a way that's like really attractive and interesting? For example, like the new upcoming trend would be emo trap, which mixes kind of like a emo rock with trap rap.
We're not already past the emo trap thing. I thought that was like 5 years ago.
No, it's definitely getting more grungy.
Because that was my boys up in here in Cleveland basically started that trap house rave.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's the style of that music has definitely gained more, and it's coming back as often. Music can come back in cycles of 20 years about, and that's happening right now. Like the emo stuff from the early 2000s and the rock music and stuff is starting to get a little bit of a resurgence for remixing in with modern music. So you have to be able to see from that vantage. Like, are you taking advantage of like a new type of genre? Are you visually stimulating people in a way that's like exciting with the words, even if you're not, again, the best vocalist or you have the best, rap beats behind it? If you can do one of those things, you're going to get a lot of traction.
Now, I want to point out the one thing that Jack has not said you need or should do at any point in here. Do something new. Don't ever do anything new, because you're not going to get famous for it, because somebody will eventually take the new thing that you did and do it better than you did because they saw what you fucked up on.
Well, I mean, new stuff can be good. Again, it's just the execution presentation, right? If you have again, these days when it comes to music videos, I think push it more than songs. I mean, yeah, there's the era of SoundCloud rappers and, musicians getting big off SoundCloud first. That's way oversaturated, has been now for a couple of years. But if you are looking to get people excited, having the visual interest with the strong music video and tailoring it to a certain type of, I guess you could say, niche or genre is much more likely to get you the viral attraction that you're looking for.
Otto, have I ever told you that Jack Broke sounds like Liberty?
Who's that?
No. Oh, why don't we move this on to the after hours? Because I want to hear this story. So are you guys cool to stick around for an after hour, do after hours podcast for our Patreon subscribers? Is that cool? Jack, you good?
We could do it. I mean, we're live on this channel, so I don't know how that's going to be after hours per se, but
how can we keep that going?
Yeah, I mean,
Dude, can we invite the Patreons to just like join into the chat?
Ridiculous. I love
Like,
it.
keep adding more people.
That would be rough.
Well, yeah. I mean, we could always just record it and not go post it live if that's possible. And just kind of
we can end this here and then and
we'll do another link. Yeah.
Let's wrap it on my channel for now, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone checking in tonight. But before we go, Jack, thanks for hooking us up with this. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but if you want to let our listeners know where they can find you if they haven't already.
Yeah. Where they can find me, huh?
Yeah, fine. Anything, man. Anything you want to push?
The cool stuff that's coming up for right now would be volcomic.com. That's VOL. V as in victory, volcomic.com. That's where I do comic book stuff. Our next event coming up is with Spike Cohen. So we'll be doing that at Reload Gun Range Saturday, July 17th. So a special event coming up there with phaevents.com. That's PHO, phaevents.com. And independently of us, I hope to see maybe some of you and anybody else watching at the Tom Woods 2000th. I'm pretty excited about that. So tomwoods2000.com. That's going to be a huge party. Like, I'm really excited.
When is that?
October 16th on a Saturday. It's at the Rose and Shingle Creek in Orlando. So it's at a resort. So it's nice. And
everyone's going to be wearing shorts and Hawaiian shirts. Is that correct?
Better.
I imagine there's going to be quite a few. So
hopefully chest hair out. That's all I ask.
Right. Definitely.
I think that's going to be a hoot. That sounds like, I think that would be super fun.
From what I know, it could very well rival Pork Fest in terms of the kinds of people who are there.
It's gonna be square by comparison, but it'll still be fun.
You're not gonna have doing hookers off coke.
Will you sign my book?
But there will be
I
amazing
saw you
people.
on that radio show. Oh.
It's gonna be lit. Let's put it that way. It's gonna be a good time. So.
Wait, was he just doing a fake Asian voice there? That's not nice, man. Right in front of Jack. Come on, have some couth.
You're gonna anger all the gals, though.
No,
Nick. Well, Nick, tell us about your new little shindig you got going on.
So, after a couple months off of podcasting, I'm dropping the libertarian branding entirely, and me and my wife are just going to be transitioning to full-on parenting podcast, which apparently we're going to start off just totally ripping this NPR lady's book that she wrote about raising kids. So I don't know, like, if you're probably going to still see her politics in it, but just trying to catch the broader community and still get that 1 hour a week to talk to my wife.
And where can they find that? Our listeners.
NickMcCone.com is always where you can find anything that I'm up to, which is usually links to Punk Rock Libertarians or some other stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
Honestly, cool. I've probably done more Punk Rock Libertarians podcasts than my own in the past couple months.
I think you have. But it's we appreciate it. We love when you come on here.
I love being here. I get to be salty and ridiculous.
Oh, I know. I love it.
Extremist.
So, all right. So, right. Extremist. A lot of extremist content. We're going to take this on to the After Hours podcast. And if you guys are interested in hearing that, we record it right after this one. If you guys want to sign up for our Patreon for as little as $1 a month, you can check it out. If you don't like using Patreon, we have other ways to help donate to the show. So you can check it out at prlfans.com. We also have t-shirts for sale over at libertariancountry.com. If you use the code PRL or PRL podcast, you get yourself a 10% discount. If you spend $50 or more and use the code PRL2, you get a 20% discount. We're also brought to you tonight by Hidden in Plain Sight by Moral Bob. And who wants to help me finish this? You guys are going to have to help me finish this tagline, guys. So until next time, live free.
Or die.
Or else. All right. It's good enough.
All right. Take care, everybody. See you.